Good evening, Tallahassee, and welcome into this Wednesday edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Evan O'Regan. Let's take that live look over Doak Campbell Stadium. That sun is starting to set over the stadium at 6:01 right there above my head, and it's still 85 degrees, plenty of sunshine, another gorgeous day, plenty of sunshine, not a cloud in the sky on that live shot right there with that northerly breeze coming in at 14 miles an hour. We're still in the middle 80s across much of the area, a little bit cooler down there in southern Georgia and also by the shore down the coast at Apalachicola, sitting at 80 degrees right now. Our hot spot is actually Sumatra at 89 degrees, almost hitting that 90-degree mark there. Current radar not showing a whole lot, maybe just a stray shower just to the north of Blountstown right now, but really not a whole lot to see on that radar, which is always good news. And that'll stay the same for tonight. Generally sitting in the upper 50s to lower 60s around the entire area today. And our headlines for tonight: Tallahassee stays dry tomorrow, but that storm chance returns for Friday. We do have an enhanced risk for severe weather in the Midwest, and winter heat continues in the central U.S. All that and more on FSU Weather.
And welcome back to your Wednesday edition of FSU Weather. Here we're taking a live look at Doak Campbell Stadium. We see that gorgeous sun peeking through, just sunshine, not a cloud in the sky. We're looking at 70 degrees right now. The temperature is going to be 85 and the winds are coming from the north at 14 miles per hour. For our satellite and radar for the Tallahassee area, we're looking at clear skies like we saw in that camera, but towards the east coast of Florida, we are looking at a low pressure system that is bringing a lot of storms close to the coast of the Carolinas. So if you are in South Carolina on the coastal regions, I would say to take shelter and don't drive too far. Looking closer into our Tallahassee region, clear skies, no forms of precipitation, possibly seeing some ground clutter, but for now, no storms in the area. For our temperature almanac, here we have some pretty decently nice temperatures. I'd say a low of 54. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be around to see that tonight. I'll probably be asleep if we do reach that temperature, but 86 today was the high. Slightly varying from our records, thank God, but not too far from our average for this time of year. For the current temperatures in the Tallahassee area, we are looking at mid to high 80s all around. And in our current dew points, these dew points may seem high, but they're actually pretty low compared to our high temperatures of upper 80s, mid 80s. So sorry about that. We're at a 51-degree dew point here in Tallahassee. For our wind speed and direction, parts of this is being caused by that low pressure system that is sitting in the Atlantic off to the eastern shore, but right here we have that northern winds coming in at 14 miles per hour here in Tallahassee, and slightly lower for the region and Apalachicola, 10 miles per hour. For our future radar here, we see that emphasis on the wind, but overall clouds coming through the area. We should not rule out any storms to come. There might be some scattered showers later on throughout the night. For tonight's temperatures, we have 60 degrees here in Tallahassee and low 60s throughout the area. Tomorrow's forecast, 86 here in Tallahassee. The dog walk forecast, I'd say it's definitely really nice to get out at 7 a.m. if you do happen to be awake at 59 degrees. The beach forecast, please get out. It's really nice down at Panama City Beach. I recommend getting out there. And for the week ahead, we are seeing really warm temperatures into the low and upper 80s for the highs and upper 60s for the lows. Now, I'll be passing it right on off to Evan for a look at our southeast.
We have pretty similar temperatures here throughout the southeast. Look at that, Memphis, Tennessee sitting at that sizzling 90-degree mark right now. Probably a little bit too hot to go golfing in my opinion, but hey, if you're adventurous, why not venture out there? Miami's sitting at 78 right now, Gainesville 83 there, but the good news is we don't have any chance of rain across the southeast, so that's always a good thing, even though it is very hot out there, especially for Little Rock, Arkansas, sitting at 93 right now on that thermometer, but widespread upper 80s, cooler down by along the coastline with that marine influence, with that low pushing on that onshore flow. So maybe even a little bit windy there in Orlando at 79. So keeping things cooler there. And throughout much of, or at least the eastern part of the southeast, our dew points are nice and low because of that northerly flow coming off that low pressure system in the Atlantic. But we do have higher dew points off to our west, sitting in the upper 60s and lower 70s, 72 in Shreveport. That's really muggy and uncomfortable. So I really hope that the dew point starts to reverse direction and start to go down. That wind direction is still coming off the Gulf of Mexico, so I don't see that happening anytime soon, just because the wind is coming off the Gulf and advecting that Gulf moisture up into that area. But again, there's that low pressure system sitting off the coast of the Carolinas. It's been there for the past few days, and that'll start to move its way down towards the south and west slightly, and that'll start to bring the rain chance back for Friday, as I said earlier in that overview segment. But we still have that active alert, that high surf advisory just along the northern coast of Florida, bringing that rough surf and also rip current threat to that area as well. We are in a bit of a drought right now throughout the southeast, along the coast especially. We have near Raleigh, North Carolina, a severe drought even in North Carolina, but that'll start to reverse directions as we get that low pressure system sliding towards the coast and throwing that rainfall back at the coast. And there it is right now. You can see it throughout the day tomorrow. We get plenty of rain showers throughout that area that's dealing with that drought, so we'll get some relief there. And as we work towards Friday, that shower threat returns for Tallahassee, so make sure to break out the umbrellas again as we work our way towards the weekend. And rainfall totals not all that impressive, but isolated area could see an inch and a half of rainfall, especially along the immediate coast in North Carolina. The Outer Banks will get the brunt of that rainfall. Also down by New Orleans could see an inch and a half, maybe even 2 inches of rainfall. But for tonight, it looks like a comfortable night out there. 58 in Tallahassee, lower 60s widespread, warmer off to the west, sitting in the lower 70s, and tomorrow another hot one, middle 90s for Little Rock and Shreveport. And now I'm going to pass things to Genevieve with a look at our national.
That national is going to be very, very important to know because we are seeing quite a gradient. Look at all those low pressure systems and high pressure systems going about the country. One thing that I really do want to highlight is this dry line that we've seen through the past couple days, stretching through Midland, Texas, and moving into New Mexico. As we see, it's really, as we're going to go through these graphics, we're going to see that dry line separating the very moist air ahead of it and the very dry conditions behind it. Right now, another thing I want to highlight, like I said earlier in our local, is the low pressure system sitting off into the Atlantic, causing for some storms to pop up on the coast of the Carolinas, but also it is bringing us that northerly flowing air into Tallahassee, giving us some wind. But overall, another thing that I want to make sure I point out is the possible chance of severe weather, or the very, very high chance of severe weather happening in the plains right now. And we're going to zoom in right on that. Here, this yellow region is all a tornado watch. So you see those storms going through Minneapolis, Minnesota, and going all through Minnesota. And those are really storms that you want to watch out for. You must take cover, and you must be as careful as you can. I would advise that you don't drive and that you stay at home. For our Texas satellite and radar, we see some few showers popping up. Those will worsen through the night, we predict, but right now, some light storms, severe thunderstorm warnings, there you go, for northern Texas. So I will say take an umbrella if you do happen to be in that region. For the temperatures across the country, we are looking at that drastic line of temperatures. We have really high heats, 95 here in South Texas in San Antonio. Here in Florida, we aren't looking too bad compared to these temperatures. I mean, you're even seeing 88 degrees here in Chicago, which is absolutely not normal for this time of year. And of course, the western coast, you're seeing somewhat cooler temperatures with drier conditions. So really nice conditions. For our dew points for the area, with those high temperatures, sadly, those regions, those states are also seeing really muggy conditions. They're seeing really high dew points. Here in Dallas-Fort Worth, you're seeing a 66-degree dew point, very muggy. For a drought monitor, with those muggy and dry conditions come a high risk for drought. So Hopefully those pop-up showers, I don't know how much they'll do to prevent the drought, but it will be very, very dry. For active alerts, here into New Mexico, we are seeing some firestorm warnings, so please be careful. I would advise that there are no bonfires going on if you are in this region. For SPC storm outlook for today, we are seeing that enhanced and almost moderate risk here in the plains into Minneapolis, Minnesota. For tomorrow, that risk kind of gets bigger and starts reaching into parts of eastern South Dakota. And for tomorrow, the risk lessens for those states, but still drags on further on throughout the country. For our rainfall, we're seeing quite a lot of rainfall in that area, of course. And our highs compared to average in the eastern side, we are seeing we're seeing slightly chillier conditions, but of course, very, very drastic throughout the country. As we see those temperatures going through very, very hot. What do you think about those temperatures, Evan?
I'm certainly glad I'm not in the middle of the country right now, because not only is it hot, it's humid. But back closer to home, we don't have that humidity, which is also a good thing. Around the Sportsplex in Panama City, also Lake Bradford right now, not feeling that humidity, which is always a good thing. And that'll start to change as we go towards the later part of the weekend into the work week next week. But for now, just enjoy the weekend. It's going to be great out there, especially if you want to go out towards College Town tonight. Looks like a good night to do that, starting around 9 p.m. in the middle 70s, and then following that through the 60s as we go throughout the night, rounding out around that 60-degree mark around the Tallahassee Metro. It's also a good night to get out there and stargaze if you're wanting to do that tonight. Another clear night out there. We have that waxing gibbous out there heading towards that full moon, 74% illumination tonight, and great viewing conditions, I would add to that for tonight. If you were heading out to the res tomorrow, it looks like another great day to do that. Mostly sunny and pleasant out there. We have that, again, that refreshing breeze, 10 to 15 miles an hour, gusting maybe towards 20 you might need that as you're heading out to the sailboats for the res tomorrow. But it looks like another great day to do that. And if you're looking to travel, it looks like another good day to do that as well. Delays are unlikely here in Tallahassee, and it's unlikely to change, especially for the majority of the country. The majority of the country is enjoying those nice conditions, although it is hot out there, but of course, we're for air conditioning. So you don't need that. It'll be a good day to travel, a good week to travel. Track and field has a meet tomorrow for the ACC Outdoor Championships in Durham, North Carolina tomorrow. A good day to do that, middle 60 throughout the day tomorrow, and cloudy conditions. So it may not be the greatest weather, but it's actually good running weather, so they won't get all hot and sweaty. But tomorrow we have another big game for softball, the ACC Championship up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, starting out in the middle 70s at 7 o'clock and working their way through the 60s by the time we round it out. As for the weekend, the storm threat returns for Friday and Saturday and Sunday, but those are not washouts. Those are only afternoon storm chances as we work the humidity back in for the weekend and the work week next week. But now I'm going to pass things off to Genevieve with our local close.
We're bringing it right back home towards the end of the show for our summer show. We have that live look at Doak Campbell Stadium, that sun really peeking through, really, really nice and warm. Those conditions following that beautiful sun, we have a nice 85 degrees, and the wind is coming from the north at 14 miles per hour. Current temperatures for the Tallahassee area, we are seeing that 83 in Tallahassee, pretty much low 80s throughout the board. For our current dew points, we have what you think would be a high dew point, nice and muggy, but no, it's not at all. It's quite dry compared to our very, very high temperatures. Future radar, possibility for clouds. I wouldn't rule out a storm coming for maybe tonight and tomorrow. Definitely, we do have a % chance of rain for Friday. Actually, I forget today's Wednesday, but that wind is coming from the north. Tonight in Tally, we have a 58 degrees, really nice, mostly clear. Try and get out, maybe hit a restaurant, movies, I don't know. And for the week ahead, we have some really, really nice conditions, pretty warm. I mean, depending on where you're from, of course. If we have Evan from New York, you might not love these conditions, or you might really like these conditions. But low to upper 80s, and we're even going to stretch out to 90 towards the end of the week. And please follow us on Twitter so that you're getting those updates and staying current. Like us on Facebook at FSU Weather. We love to chat with you guys. Watch us live on YouTube, which are hopefully doing so now. Follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather. Send us pictures of your dogs anything. And now for one last look at our 7-day.